Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you, God, because this is happening to me when access to information is so easy to access. Um, for me, I know this sounds very clownly. There's been a facade that is just so comical and horrible at the same time. The comical aspect of it is because for me, they thought I should look at this as the difference. Listen, one thing they've been doing with me is manipulating my memories. So when they make me have this nasty reaction toward children, they're like, "No, we mapped it. We saw this in your memory when you were a kid. You expect the trashy retardations." When the reality is they force you to have reaction toward children and then try to make you accept this nasty reaction. And the way they make me accept this is like, no, but when you were a kid, this is how you react. No, that's what you make me experience. For example, look at this person. This is the most disgusting because of this. There's this woman. I'm on this dating app, and you see her picture, and then she's studying the memory, and then you see the picture down. It's her when it's a picture of her as a child, as a baby, like a toddler. And I know the reason why this was posted in front of me is because they want me to perceive these people involved in this program, or they want me to perceive them as this group of female femme fatale intellectuals, that what is happening is just studying my brain, and my brain is not being manipulated, but they are reviewing and mapping my brain, that this is not this program led by these governmental entities, which we'll talk about the DOD, utilizing DARPA technology that not only alter your mind but alter your memories too. It is disgusting, especially at the what makes me not understand how they can have no self-respect is obviously every information that I can look for, I can find. I've been talking about memory manipulation for day one. I know it's like I'm not being me. My memories are even being changed. But to be off, to the thing is with memory manipulation, it's not even something that is like happening to like a few people. They are literally journals about how memories are being manipulated today. That they have technology that can alter and modulate your memories. They can change memories. This is not something in some like conspiracy theory. This is literally doctors coming up with ethic journals about memory manipulation. You're going to hear that because technology has advanced to the point where they not only can read your memories, but can they write memories. And this perp, right? Because that's what it was. What they do is like, for me, they try to present themselves like we're women and we're studying the brain, and so we're not altering the brain. That this is not the technology coming from these DoD entities that have been altering the mind since the 60s, or learning and experimenting on how to alter the mind since the 60s. Let me just say how obvious that my memories are manipulated. Okay, in 2000, I forgot, during Obama times, I think 2010ish, 11, Obama came up with this brain initiative thing. The brain initiative was they were going to invest a lot of money on neurotechnology to advance neuroscience. Okay, at one point it's no longer on there, and you could see that at one point this brain initiative consisted of different entities involving themselves in that. Guess what entity was involved in this? Yeah, DARPA was fully invested in that too. At one point, and I'll try to look for the same information, but if you think this is something I made up, you'll see here. DARPA at one point was so involved that on their website they say, "Oh, we involved ourselves in the brain initiative. We're gonna utilize this legacy of neurotechnology that we've acquired for years and help with this brain initiative." But DARPA is also the same entity that in the 60s were using electromagnetic technology to see how it could alter the mind of the brain, human brain. In the 60s. We know that the DoD is running this program that us target individuals are involved in, put in. That our brain are being manipulated. We are no longer ourselves. We are being altered in real time, and memories are being altered. You will hear testimonials of that. But with me, it's been a level of clowniness, of clown. Try to be like, no, what we're doing, we're mapping your brain and do this. And you see this right here. This is a baby. This is a woman who shows a baby picture of her, and then before it is part of her profile. This is a Bumble profile, right? And you see her picture of her, a grown ass woman, and then you see, oh, studying the memory, and then you see the picture down, it's just a baby picture of her. So obviously I know, oh, okay, she's a perp that wanted me to see her as a baby, and then they're gonna manipulate my brain and just make me think that's how you think when you're a child. And but it's different because we're women. It's not the same. We're studying. They have this clown retardation of thoughts, like, and it's such a basic gaslighting at the same time. It's such a basic facade that, oh, because we're women, all of a sudden this track is now existing, is not being applied on me. That the same governmental, which you're gonna hear, is not being applied to me because they are women. And because we're women, we won't do that. It is so basic. And before you're gonna hear the obviousness that, first of all, altering the mind has been, is something they've been working in mainstream. This is not, you literally can find out about the state of altering the mind. You'll find documents about it, journals fully written by doctors. Doctors talking about altering the mind. There's one called, like, this journal called Changing Memories Between Ethics and Speculations, and it basically talk about, now that we have technology that can alter the mind, we should create some kind of rules and regulation to ensure that, people don't take it too far. And this is where it was in 2016, by the way. In 2016. And by the way, guess what they call out? Oh, the Brain Initiative is coming up. Which, guess who was involved in the Brain Initiative? Yes, DARPA. What you gonna see here, there, and you see this picture there. DARPA is one of the investors. DARPA and ARPA, I think, is Intelligence Advanced Research Program Agency. Yeah. Yup. Oh, by the way, and I didn't find this video right now. I'm not even trying to look. There was this DARPA employee person that was having a speech, and when they speak about what's happening in regard of what the advancement they're in, they don't say everything, but they give you little hints here or there without trying to speak too much. This person working at DARPA was like, oh no, we're working with this university on memories, and not only figure out that you can read memories, but you can actually write memories. Basically, you can create memories. And he was saying that in this, like, very, of course, what they say is just millions times way more advanced than that. They're just gonna give you like a little glimpse. For him to say that like that means that they are so far ahead than that is beyond that. But there's actually journals about, like, hey, we have technology that can alter the mind. Matter of fact, we know memories. And not alter the mind, alter the memories, as you can see here. Matter of fact, memories are not something solid. Memories can be easily manipulated. Memories can easily be manipulated. Memories are something that is not solid. It can be easily influenced. And I've been saying that for years now. I've been saying my memories, my thoughts are being changed. Now I understand. I'm talking about technology that can alter the mind today in real time. This EEG cloning, EEG herodyning is making me experience things that I will experience today that is manipulated right now. So can you imagine what they can do to my memories? This is something that they're talking about right now, that there's technology now available that could alter your memories, modulate your memories today. And I'm being manipulated today to experience things I will not experience naturally, but because I'm being altered to experience this thing. And by the way, when they manipulate me to experience this, like, no, we make you experience what you experienced when you were a child. Trash ass. And you have people like that, this trash, this perp that really want me to, like, okay, so I'm not gonna look up memory manipulation And I find journals literally writing about the dangers of this technology that can alter the memories now. That's based on your presentation, the way you appear, that I should think that you don't manipulate the memories. And you hear them now map out. These motherfuckers not only do this pedophilia type of torture, sorry, they don't only manipulate the memories, but they have these common tactics of manipulating people to experience pedophilia type of torture. And you're going to hear the target individual. It's part of how they try to mentally disturb you. And they try to say in different way. No, we're mining, we're mapping out trash. Because what, you're women, you're not manipulating? What? Like, it's like, what the level of clowning. That's why I'm here, to embarrass these people. And to try to stop me from saying that. It's like, oh, protect your testicles, they're going to cut you. I was like, I'd rather get my testicle cuts and understand what you're doing. It's just there's too much validation that obviously brain can be manipulated in different ways. By the way, the entities that have been working altering the mind since the 60s are the one working in this brain initiative, by the way. Oh, there was a whole project called Project Pandora, which altering the mind. Matter of fact, the crazy part here, and this journal that you're going to hear next, is they were asking themselves, and this is based on journals now coming from like intelligence community, saying, can you alter a human being if you alter their mind? So if you can alter their memories? Let me just bring it, make sure that I say it even better, because I don't think I say it in the right way. Let me just pull it up right now. I think I said here, do memory modulating technology jeopardize the person? And basically they say, if somebody get their memory changed, does it change the person? Do the person start believing there's somebody else? That this notion of self, is that changing? And this is the things that they truly like ask about. And you'll hear this. There's there's a multiple journals about it. The one you're going to hear about, and I'm kind of taking my time here making sure I brought those multiple, because there's some that literally, one of the journals like, does memory manipulation change the notion of self? You understand what it means? The question is, if we manipulate your memory, are you going to start seeing yourself in a different fashion? Which is literally what they do. Let me see this better. The question was, can altered memory change the notion of self? This was a question asked by doctors that are aware that this technology is now up. This is in 2016. How many years from now? 8 years. In 2016, they were talking about this technology is coming onto us. There'll be technology that will alter the mind. Alter the memories. And the question we should ask ourselves, if you alter the mind of alter the memory of somebody, can it change the notion of self? Literally, this is what they've been trying to do. This trash do this manipulation and want me to see myself in the way they presented me. And so when they manipulate my memories to experience this thing, it's because they want me to identify with these experiences. They want to see myself in this negative way. No, this is not how I would experience any of that. Even my memories as a child. But to understand the level of how low they have to go to try to say, no, what we're doing is we're mapping you to you as a kid. But it's simple. They think that if I identify with this logic, that my brain, it was like that when I was a kid, that then today I will accept these manipulations. And the notion of who I am will be changed. Never. If anything, the notion of myself is, I love myself ever more. Why? Because I see this trash doing these obvious things, everything possible to break you down and to make you accepting of these manipulations. Look at this Perp. I understand what's happening to me is led by governmental entities like DARPA. The DOD is obviously running this program. This is not some private studies happening to me. No, this is the level of resources and technology that is being implemented onto me shows that it's coming from the DoD. The same entities that have been working on how to alter the mind for years. The same entities today have been working on quote unquote the brain initiative, where they say, oh, we've had technology that can manipulate and alter the mind. Not alter the mind, alter the memories. They don't say that yet. That we've been working on technology that can alter and modulate memories. Or we can not only write, but we can read memories. This is openly said. If you can only imagine, if that is said publicly, the level of the capabilities that you truly have is to another level. Because we know DARPA is a very secretive entity. They're not going to tell you, hey, we do actually have the technology that can really manipulate your memories. As I'm saying that, this typical disorienting tactics this purpose to use. I say, oh, they're going to rape you. Because I'm saying, obviously, DARPA, an entity that works for Department of Defense, if they had this technology, say, oh, we are here, we can manipulate memories, they shouldn't be able to say that, because this is a quote-unquote secretive entity, in the sense that they work on very sophisticated technology. But for them to let out the fact that, oh, we have, we know that we can not only read the memories, but we can write memories. If they let that little information out, it means that they're so way ahead of that, and they of course can do that, and they've been doing that. As a matter of fact, they've been doing that, and and today the mainstream world is prepping for themselves. This technology is coming that can alter memories. Your memories can be modulated. You can create memories. The question now that this technology is coming up, quote unquote, we should have start prepping, making rules and regulation, because the question is, can altering memory change the notion of self? Literally saying, if somebody's memories are changed, can that change the person, how they see themselves? And the awkward part is, they are trying to change who I am, try to make me accept and identify with this memories manipulation. And you have these perps as fucking basic gaslighting, and I'm sorry for using this language, because I'm like, don't you feel embarrassed that this is what is available for me to see, and you think that you looking this way, studying the memories, I'm not gonna think, oh, they're not manipulating my memories. You working for governmental entities that have been working on technology that can alter the mind, and working on technology that can literally alter the memories, and you send these childlike people who's supposed to be like, now we're mapped out, and they can really spell it out, mapping out, we're mapping. No, you're not mapping out, you're manipulating my brain, manipulating my memories, and putting information that weren't there, then now implanting that in my memories, and to try to make me accept these false memories. Oh, by the way, this is not just said by me, by the way. As always, nothing is unique to me. Nothing is unique to me. Somebody else you're going to hear say literally, oh, they implant information and then make it seem like it's my memories and pull it out and present it as my memories. And then when I said that, it's like, not real. I was like, yeah, you can't even say Roy more, boo. Please understand, I know how bottom feeder you are. And I mean that with all the utmost disrespect you can imagine. And so whatever's going to happen to my testicle, whatever's going to happen to me, and how I'm going to be tortured will never make me accept these false memories. And just because the way you present yourself, your gender, it's just so disgusting. Because I know they torture women in some foul ways. They burn their genitals. They do horrible things. And women have said, there's a lot of females involved. There's this woman saying, oh, my cousin, it's a cousin who's a she. It's a woman. She worked for the Department of Defense. I told her I was putting this program. And she's like, oh gosh, you're on your own now. You're done. Her cousin is a female, okay? So you're saying that because being a woman, these people are new. These basic ass facades and psyops are becoming ridiculous now. They're becoming almost childish. That I should think that this is nothing. It has nothing to do with these massive governments that have been working on technology that not only alter your mind today, but have been, of course, if they can alter your mind for today, if today they can make you experience this, your memories are. Whew. Man, they can play with it however they want you to. And literally, in the mainstream, right now, information, journals, medical journals, literally, medical journal. You'll see people writing ethics journal articles about, hey, this technology is coming up. We know it's coming up. It's no longer fictional. Technology that can modulate your memory is happening right now. It's no longer a fictional thing. In 2016, saying that. We're in 2024. And guess who's involved in that? Yes, DARPA. Remember that agency that keeps coming up? A lot of this like altering the mind and yeah. Yup. In this. Involved in it. Big time. So I know they're running this program. I know the DoD run this program. And yes, they have this technology that is altering current experiences and memories. And when you have this trash here who shows the baby picture of herself, I'm like, oh, you see, this is what we mapped out trash ass. Target visual for me, I want to embarrass these people. When we pass by each other, when you see each other, and I can literally not only bring a testimony of some target individual, you're gonna hear say that. Listen, look, hold on. Listen to what this target individual says.
To impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts, and images in imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain, they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example, artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture.
So this man clearly say exactly what I'm saying. Not only they may make him experience this stream of thoughts that he won't experience naturally, that not only they alter the current experiences of thoughts, but even implanting information in his memories. And then try to present these memories as if this information as if it's real memory, or present those false memories as if they're real memories. You know what you hear this trash say? Oh no, we expose you. Not serious. We'll knock you out. Trash, you're a retard. They've been humiliated by reality. Whatever's gonna happen to me, please understand that the validation is just magical. Magical. Oh, you think because you're a woman or female gender that this is different? You've been exposed for being the fraud that you are. Some bunch of facade and psyops. Humiliated by reality. Let me show you what the DARPA has been working on for years, and then you gotta understand when you're gonna hear this brain initiative, they involve in that too. Listen to that.
In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior. The project reportedly ended in 1969, but DARPA's investigation of how machines can affect and possibly control the brain continues to this day. It can be altered. In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior.
Since the 60s, they've been working on how to alter the mind. 60s. Oh, and they've been working on technology in regard of memories. They can create memories now. They can modulate memories. And you have this trash who's supposed to make me believe now this is our money. We don't know, clown. You manipulate the memories and you changing memories and then make me experience this new version of memories, like this man said. And what year do you think we in? Just you being a female changes the reality of things. What? Because you're a woman, you couldn't be involved in this. The same way these people are clown. It's like, now we expose you to get knocked out. I'd rather get knocked the fuck out than be involved in a program where you rewire the thought process in this ways, manipulate the memories, and then dumb yourself down this way. These people think it's like, do I look like I can be gaslighting this in this level? You're gonna look like a clown. Oh, I wish I could have taken the picture. I got too. I was too angry. I took a screenshot instead of taking a screenshot of that person's face. So look at this clowniness. She's gonna try to block the fact that the obvious validation, that memory manipulation, is not only happening. Just target individuals are talking about it, but this is something that actual doctors are talking about. The future of this technology is coming up. Is in 2016 they were talking about it, and even literally saying, but the question is now, if we can alter the mind and alter the memories of an individual, does it change the notion of the self notion of the individual? Please listen to this, and understand that this is how crazy it is. Let me just start with the first article.
Memories. The ethics of yesterday's science fiction and today's reality. Abstract. Manipulating memories. The ethics of yesterday's science fiction and today's reality. Abstract. The paper addresses recent advances in memory manipulation from the perspective of the 4 key pillars of neuroethics: the self, social policy, neurotechnology, and education outreach. We provide examples for each pillar, assess their neuroethical implications, and conclude with a call for an ethics framework that is specifically tailored for the ethical challenges of memory manipulation. Introduction. Understanding the basis of memory and treating memory disorders has been a focus of neuroscientists, physicians, and philosophers alike for over 2,000 years, starting with Aristotle's early comparison of memories with impressions in wax. 1. Advances using cutting-edge techniques such as optogenetics, a technique that involves the use of light to control brain cells. 2. And neural network analysis, programs and data structures patterned after the operation of the human brain. 3. Reveal that memory is indeed like a wax impression, able to be formed and reformed in surprising ways. Memory research now extends beyond questions about the consolidation and retrieval of past memories to explorations of the selective removal and addition of memories through pharmacological means, such as drugs, and technological means, such as direct or indirect brain stimulation. 4. And in a range of organisms, from the microscopic worm C. elegans to humans. Science fiction and other cinematographic genres have exploited the imagined potential of memory manipulation for half a century. In 1962, the Cold War suspense thriller, The Manchurian Candidate, told the story of a Korean War soldier who is brainwashed and reprogrammed to be an assassin. The storyline includes the implantation of false memories during the mind control process, a neuroscience-inspired phenomenon associated with the work of Pavlov and others in classical conditioning. 5. It is thus not surprising that in The Manchurian Candidate, the physician responsible for the brainwashing operations is affiliated with a fictional Pavlov Institute. The mystery and suspense of implanting thoughts and ideas into the human subconscious retains its wide appeal today. The 2010 drama, Inception, tells a tale of dream invasion and idea implantation inspired by lucid dreaming. Cinema productions have also tackled the selective erasure of memories. For example, in the 2004 movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, the protagonist undergoes a memory erasing procedure to ease the pain of heartbreak. The movie also brings to the fore critical neuroethical challenges of memory manipulation, such as the interconnectedness of memory with learning, moral behavior, social harms, privacy, commercialization, and conflict of interest. Since these films were released, neuroscientists have made great strides in understanding memory, with both clinical and social goals in mind. For example, They have investigated how emotional content can become dissociated from memories of specific events. 6. Which may play an important role in the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and the unreliable nature of eyewitness memory, which has significant implications for the justice system. 7. In animal models, the selective erasure of fear memories has been achieved through the ablation of specific groups of brain cells. 8. These investigations raise profound ethical questions. Can altered memory change the notion of self? Philosopher John Locke suggested that memory provides the basis for personal identity. 9. Can altered memory change the notion of self? Philosopher John Locke suggested that memory provides the basis for personal identity. 9. Indeed, many scientists and philosophers today argue that identity is closely linked to autobiographical memory, a combination of episodic and semantic memories about a person's life. 10. 11. Evidence supports that an integral component of the relationship between memory and identity is awareness. Studies of people with dementia-related memory loss show that low levels of awareness about the extent of a person's memory loss are associated with poorer autobiographical recall and a more positive, sharper sense of identity. 12. Thus, it is hypothesized that a lack of awareness of memory loss may be protective against dementia's threat to identity. However, the idea that memory is integral to identity is not uniformly supported by the evidence or universally accepted. The German philosopher Martin Heidegger, among others, argued that who we are is not limited to our self-reflective abilities but encompasses our relationships with others and how we are situated in the world. 13. Scientists have explored this hypothesis empirically, with sometimes surprising results. 14. Others argue that identity can be more closely tied to other personal characteristics. For example, Strominger and Nichols studied 248 patients with frontotemporal dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis and found that changes in the patient's moral behavior, not memory loss, had the greatest impact on perceived identity. 15. More recent work based on the principles of affect control theory, which proposes that people maintain culturally based, emotional meanings in their interactions with others, suggests that affective identities, for example, family, social, or professional roles, of older adult residents in long-term care facilities are preserved to some extent despite memory loss. 16. Given these findings, we can still ask, are the effects of selective memory erasure akin to the effects of dementia-related memory loss? In many ways, they are. In both cases, memory loss can lead to different experiences and different emotions in response to an environmental stimulus, and in both cases, other aspects of identity, such as relationships and affect, can be preserved. 8. 16. However, memory manipulation that is selective, desired, that is, consented to, and static, that is, not dynamic or degenerative, has different implications for the notion of self than dementia-related memory loss. For example, despite memory loss, people with Alzheimer's disease maintain social relations, personal preferences and character, the ability to value, and other facets of identity. 17, 18. But they have no control over which autobiographical memories are lost or at what rate. Conversely, the selective manipulation of good and bad memories and of the emotions associated with them has implications for how people consciously construct their notion of self, and how they adhere to social norms. Are social and public policies needed to complement clinical guidelines? Central to social and public policy concerns are questions about the role of memory manipulation, particularly in coercion. For example, should invasive memory erasure techniques involving surgical procedures like deep brain stimulation be used to prevent recidivism in criminals despite the potential risks of the procedure? 19. Would it be ethical to modify the emotional valence of a memory to alleviate the symptoms of a child suffering from PTSD if the long-term consequences of such a treatment are unknown? As the understanding of memory is deepened through science and medicine and selective manipulation of memories is investigated, it is imperative to consider these repercussions and develop relevant social policies. 20. To ensure that potential societal harms are limited, the upstream engagement of key stakeholders, for example, researchers, members of the legal profession, patient advocacy representatives, and policymakers, in the research process is vital. While laws do not exist to regulate memory manipulation specifically, the importance of these issues is recognized by national and international initiatives such as the Presidential Commission on the Study of Bioethical Issues and the newly created Ethics Research Area of the National Institutes of Health Brain Research through Advancing Innovative Neurotechnologies Registered Sign Brain Initiative. How should ethics inquiry and practice respond to the potential for memory manipulation? Psychiatric neurosurgery is responding to intractable diseases of mental well-being through neurotechnological innovations such as deep brain stimulation, which is under investigation for treatment-resistant depression. 21. And obsessive compulsive disorder. 22. For example, some techniques are precise and irreversible. For example, deep brain stimulation. Transcranial direct current stimulation. The trade-offs for neurosurgical treatments of psychiatric illness, like the trade-offs for memory manipulations, must be measured in terms of both professional responsibility for appropriate use of invasive interventions that directly modulate brain function and fair allocation of resources among the most vulnerable people in society. 23. These trade-offs will need to be managed through consultation with relevant stakeholders using a clinical ethics framework that takes into account medical indications, patient preferences, quality of life, and contextual features. 24. What lies in the future? Human stem cells to restore or even enhance memory. Gene editing to record analog memories in the DNA of human cells? Extraordinary new capabilities in neurosurgery and emerging biotechnologies are giving rise to an ever greater need for ethics frameworks that proactively consider and protect potential recipients of these treatments. The science fiction of yesterday may well be tomorrow's reality. How should advances in memory manipulation be disseminated to the public? Advances in research and technology have accelerated the pace of discoveries about memory manipulation, but the processes underlying memory storage and consolidation still remain poorly understood. Communicating about memory manipulation thus presents challenges distinct from other areas of neuroscience in that the connections between brain and mind.
So it goes on, talk about how we can navigate with memory manipulations and how to, but something that they mentioned here that's so creepy is they mentioned something about the bioethics. This bioethics that they're talking about, there was a first meeting in 2011. Guess who showed up? Hundreds of target individuals showed up to this bioethic meeting where they say that we are being used as test subjects for this DoD technology, for cognitive manipulations and behavior manipulations. They are manipulating us in these disgusting ways. And this is just validation that they've been working on. I mean, this is mainstream. This is not going to the details of what the defense has been working on. By the way, the Brain Initiative, guess who's in it? DARPA. They have extensive work with memory manipulation already, or memory and how to. It's been valid, and you heard these people saying, can alter memory change the notion of self? And they're going back and forth. Is if somebody start forgetting or the memory are altered, are they going to see themselves differently? There was this debate. And for me, that's what they try to do. So for me, I've accepted, okay, my memories are being manipulated. So this person here, with a child, or her as a child, wants me to accept these manipulations. But the disgusting part is, what they're doing with me is they're making me experience today this reaction and say, no, but you know what we're doing? We're making you think the way you felt when you were a child and altering my memory as a child. But even that doesn't make sense. Why would I start thinking like a child when I'm an adult? You understand? That's just the retardation of it all. That even on its own, it doesn't even make sense. Why would a grown person, an adult, start thinking the way they thought when they were children? Why would somebody with developing brain, or somebody whose brain was already developed as an adult, start acting, not even acting, reacting the way they reacted when they were children? Why would somebody who is an adult, who has an adult brain, all of a sudden have a brain of a child? Why would you be making somebody start thinking like a child? This condition of that nature, where adults start thinking like children. This is our mental handicap. When somebody who's an adult have the intellect and the rationality of a child, there's a conditions in that regard. So even your logic makes no sense, but even your logic is altered because you're altering the memories, which is what you're capable of doing. When I was a child, I was not experiencing this. I didn't see a child like that and get sexual stimulation that you make me experience today, which they falsify into memories. No, but remember, we serve. What? Shut up. Clown ass. You falsifying those memories. I will not see this baby and have, oh my gosh, this genital stimulation. And they even go as far as me as 9 years old to try to make me accept this. Going further and further back when the brain is less and less developed to make me accept these things. Can you imagine it gets to the point where they even want me to start thinking, no, but when you're like 10-ish, it got so low that they were saying, no, that's how you thought when you were 8 years old. I'm in my 30s and I hear somebody says that. But they have these tactics of altering the mind. Listen to this manipulation this entity has been working on. Listen to this. Okay, so in this article they talk about the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethic Issues. There was this 2011 meeting where a bunch of target individuals showed up, and listen to what they said. This is the meeting that you just heard in this article about memory manipulations. Listen to this.
My name is Dr. John Hall. I'm a medical doctor from Texas. As I understand the memorandum from the president, it's for you to determine if current legislation is adequate in protecting individuals and if there's any ongoing experimentation. In reviewing the common rule, it's very obvious that there's a lot of loopholes to informed consent. All of the horrific experiments you've mentioned, Willowbrook, MK Ultra, radiation experiments, mostly were done without informed consent. They were funded by the DoD and intelligence agencies, where I'm not even so sure you would know if there's an IRB, much less if an IRB is looking at informed consent. As a physician, relative to some of what you're hearing today, in the community, we are seeing an alarming rate of complaints of use of electromagnetic weapons, microwave auditory effects, silent sound spectrum, EEG cloning, which has taken the lab out of the laboratory and into the home. Most of these, from the research that we reviewed, can be done remotely. It seems to be more weapons research than medical research. I personally corresponded with upwards of 1,500 victims, all complaining of identical complaints from every state in the nation of being exposed to electromagnetic radiation, non-ionizing radiation for the use of cognitive control or behavior control. I've submitted a paper to you, and there's another paper submitted to each member from another physician in Kansas City, alluding to the same thing.
Thank you.
This is this bioethic commission that was created by the president for this kind of ethical issue in regard of bio related, studies and whatnot. A bunch of target individuals showed up. A bunch. This is the same doctor here, now describing some of the technology he mentioned here. With the limited time he had, he couldn't go too much in details, but listen to the technology he talks about in regard of what he heard at the target individual talk about and was able to put together, understanding what was happening. Listen to it.
Designed to interact with the human nervous system in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG, and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions or bodily functions, for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.
So this is the reaction I'm forced to experience. Then they were like, no, this reaction you felt, they were mapped it to you as a kid. Matter of fact, I was hearing this neighbor saying, oh, my 9-year-old, because they made me have this reaction to this person's 9-year-old that he showed on purpose so they can make me have this reaction aimed toward this child. Oh, by the way, this is not unique, right? This tactic of forcing people to have a reaction toward children is not unique. With me, what they're trying to say is like, no, what we're doing is like we're making you think the way you thought when you were a kid. And just manipulate my memories as a child and be like, no, but remember what you did as a kid. It's like, I never thought this way. You are forcing me to have this reaction. And then when they then try to find ways, okay, now, when you were younger than that, when you just like turned 13, no, when you were like 10 years old, no, when you were like in third grade, when you were 9 years old, because they are altering the mind, and they create these tactics of creating a false persona. Because you just heard in this article saying, can memory manipulation alter the notion of self? Listen to this.
Schizophrenia, but first of all, nobody develops paranoid schizophrenia. This technology exists. These nefarious programs exist, and it's hard to imagine for a person that why would you do something like this? But if you think about the new type of warfare, cognitive warfare. Exactly. It's a cognitive warfare. You don't have to kill people that you are fighting against. You can just degrade their brain. You can
you alter their minds.
Yeah, alter their minds,
personalities,
and it's like Chinese torture.
You heard the last part, alter the mind. They make me think of this trash that's on in this laundromat, and I'm not gonna try to sound racist or anything, but you have this white trash that just, and when I say trash, not because of poverty, I'm talking about like just like making themselves look like we're studying this, like toddlers. Now you have trash us. You're the one manipulating my brain in these ways. Trash that torture children sexually. This program consists of torturing children, because the reality of this, as these people said, they're using us as test subject for this cognitive warfare. And they use whatever tactics to try to deceive you into accepting this manipulation. Listen to this.
If you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. And they used it, I believe, in the Gulf War to tell the enemy at that time, lay down your guns, this is Allah. And it worked pretty well, because hearing voices which have no direction or sound, you have to assume that it's some spiritual entity. So it works pretty well. And then, I don't know if I'm going to get into this, but there's something called hyper game theory. How do you, they want to see if they can manipulate people to do things that are irrational, but also walk them to their death. And so you can call it a eugenics program even. And they need to sample all cultures, language throughout the world to define their probability matrices of which tricks, techniques, deception works. So how do you control a brain? Most people don't.
So you hear the deceptive tactics you utilize to try to make you accept these things. For me, is that it's like, no, you said we're studying the memory. No, you're studying how to manipulate my memories into accepting these things. You're studying what deceptive tactics, what trickery is going to work. And you obviously figured out that when you present yourself as this fierce femme fatale, that just like studying, look at how educated trash you think DARPA is not educated. What fucking retardation. You can't even fucking say the name of this man here. And you know why. You think the way you present, I ask God to give me strength, because sometimes the anger I can get, because they will say, oh, toddlers, you like, not trash, you bunch of low life that force people to have reaction to our children in these ways. And by the way, this is, when I say they have this pedophilia type of torture, listen to that. Then you have this white piece of shit, and I'm sorry, I'm not racist, but for me, I have this like this trash. That thing that, listen, look at the way I present myself with my white, gendered, female, liberal looking and educated person who would create a false memory or false persona. Look at me. And I'm like, yeah, trash, you do look like that. And this is why you tell me I'm going to be knocked out when I'm going to be castrated, because you know that I'm seeing truly for what you're involved in. Whatever fear I go through, I'm telling you, I rather run that fear. But if you ever see me and you go into that fantasy, I swear to God, you will wake up from this bullshit. These trash are using whatever tactics to try to deceive you to accepting the manipulation you experience today. By the way, beside the manipulation that they do to the thoughts, they torture children where sexual torture is applied. You heard my previous videos where sexual torture of burning genitals is applied. They literally harming toddlers. And they use these losers, these cowards from afar, the fiercest human beings you can hear. Talk about how you're going to have fear. But in front of you, they become clowns. They don't even want to look at you. I remember being in the laundromat. This person just tried to look at me, but not looking at me. I was like, look at me, piece of shit. Things going down, and you're going to realize reality. That second you look at me. She had this weird smirk. She's trying, now I know how to navigate. God, I will find a way to be at peace and be calm. But this trash is not going to navigate this retardation, but make herself believe that we are studying your brain. You're studying how to manipulate my brain into accepting these things. And now you figure that I'm not going to identify to it. So now you just talk about how I'm going to be tortured. Yes, I want to be tortured in every horrible ways. In every way, I want to get electrocuted. But you will never live in your freaking fantasy, you nasty trash. Listen to what the tactics they've been utilizing using this technology that this man called it EEG, heterodyning, and cloning. Listen to this.
Referred to as malodorants. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my
common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
It's dramatic. If somebody trying to end my life, if somebody trying to end who I am as a person, if somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia, this disgusting things. And you saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is.
There's more validation that they force sexual stimulation and aim those toward children. And they have these ways of trying to make it seem like we're anything but this massive government that have been utilizing human beings to develop these weapons onto us. Manipulating the brain, rewiring the brain, and then try to make you accept this manipulation. Listen to this person saying they have these tactics of creating facades of all sorts. Listen to that.
So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all the stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this.
And so you hear these people in via V2K, she's trying to sound agitating. Oh, we believe, and now we do. Shut up, clown ass working for pedophiles. These entities, by the way, that run this program, these DOD entities, have had so much issue with pedophilia that they were ranked 19th out of 2,900 in 2018 for child porn trafficking, the most in the United States. It was the top tier in regard to the most. And you have this trust now. What we do, we're studying your brain, we study your memory, this and that. Like a toddler's trust. You are working for pedophiles. You've been utilizing this technology to break people down using this pedophilia type of torture. And you involve in a program that literally torture children. Oh, when they try to play this feminist and some of the clowny stuff they say, I was like, oh, she's gonna believe that. She's gonna believe. Listen to this.
Worked for the Defense Department. She worked on the global mapping of that system. And when I told her what I was going through, all she could say was, "You're on your own." Well, I figured that out. If you would please, I urge you to pass this. I realize you can't enforce it, but if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
You understand? And they were supposed to make me think, no, because it's so clowny. By the way, this woman was also at the bioethic commission, the bioethic commission by the president, which you just heard this article talk about. These people are trash low life, and they force you to experience whatever they want you to experience, and they try to use this condescending, agitating tactics of interacting with you via voice to skull. Oh, what is voice to skull? Listen to what it is.
Or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as just.
This is this target individual who called this manipulation the pedophilia type of torture. Talk about the voice to skull. Talk about perception, thought process that are manipulated in a very perverted way. And when she means perverted, she means in a pedophilia way, not just perverting just toward women or men. And you have this trash. Now we're studying your memories. You're studying no memory. They're studying how to manipulate your memories, and they're finding ways to tweak things around to make you accept what you experienced today. To say, now what we're doing, we're copying the feelings that you felt when you were a kid. Even on that alone, standing on this retardation of thoughts shows how stupid they want you to be. You are copying the reaction I had when I was a child. So you're making me react how I react when I was a child. You just heard how stupid you just made yourself sound. Why would somebody who's 30-some years old start having the same reaction they had when they were children? You are a human clown and an opportunist who made themselves damn near retarded. And like, no, but remember what you did as a kid. Yes, that's an impulsive child doing something stupid as a child. Never had this even stimulation and reaction. But kids can still do impulsive things without having this reaction that you're forcing me to have today. Oh, you talk about abusing children, huh? As I said, this is horrible. This same woman that you hear here talk about the V2K and how the manipulations are happening. There's a lot of physiology torture. For example, what's happening to my body right now, I can feel like radiation hitting my bones in a certain way. It feels like it's breaking my bones. Now listen to this woman who's a teacher. She sees what they do. She sees what happens to her children that she's teaching. Very young children, actually toddlers, that they torture. Listen to the torture that she experiences.
The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. And I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, ow. I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions.
You hear a quick snippet of the sexual torture they do to children. It's funny, I'm hearing this perp say, oh, we felt so bad. They think these perps, right? Because they wanted to create this psyop, this facade of this feminist avenging and this and that. And then they love saying, oh, we feel so bad. It's like, I don't care. Listen, these perps, I don't care how bad or good they feel. I just don't want them to go into the escapism. You're going to be a human clown. Meaning that I will always see you for the clown that you are. That you made yourself damn near retarded as you force people to have this reaction. Whatever child, it's funny, they bring up these babies and force me to have stimulation. It's like, oh, no, yeah. Listen, these people not only do this manipulation that you just heard, where they force people to have this reaction that can be designed via EEG cloning and herd dying, but on top of that, torture children sexually. You just heard that. This is coming from the same woman who calls the pedophilia type of torture. Oh, the things they talk about how they feel bad is because the sexual torture can be so gruesome. Listen to this woman talk about her sexual torture.
Hey, I just woke up after a pretty rough night. The same thing happened last night as the night before, which was whenever I was trying to go to sleep, the private parts of my body began being burned again, and it felt like someone pushing out something inside of my body. Mouth feels just like but I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. In a lot of capacities of the things that I faced. So today just kind of just feeling some pretty general fear about my own safety. Because the government's burning the private parts of my body. Sometimes it feels like a laser.
So when these kids grab their genitals, is there something similar to what this woman goes through? I don't know, but this is some nastiness. And this trash do these things to us, and then manipulate your brain in these disgusting ways, and want me to see them as this the whole life. And it's clear that this here that you heard this man say earlier on.
Impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts, and images in imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain, they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example, artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture.
It's literally what I'm going through. And by the way, I got this from testimonials that are pulled in 2000. It was about 100 testimonials all around the world. A lot of the testimonies come from the United States, but there's some from Europe, some from India, from China, and they're all kind of similar all around. This is a global thing, and they all have the similarities, strong similarities. And wherever people go, whatever country they go to, it follows them. The manipulation is happening wherever. So there's no escaping this. And you hear this man say, this is mental torture. They even implanting things in my memories and they pull it out and present it as if it's my memories. That's what they do to me all the time. For me, it's just illogical. They use this. But it's okay. They make me look like I'm a genius. They truly are making me think that I'm some kind of human genius at this point. I'm not, obviously. It's just this trash I've been humiliating and try to gaslight me to accepting this. In every front, it's been validated. Oh, memory manipulation. Matter of fact, memory manipulation is so coming up in the future. They're already prepping for the near future in 2016. The near future of memory manipulation will be a thing coming up. This yesterday's fiction is today's reality. DARPA, they've been working on technology that can alter the minds for years. In the 60s, they're working on how to alter the mind. You go on their website and you try to look for memories, you'll see the things you find there. It's crazy. I mean, they literally can create like an artificial memory bank. You know what I mean? Like they can create a whole. They can create they can create an artificial memory. It's dark. I mean, the things that they work on is scary, and this is what we are able to see. Forget about the things that we don't even see. And you have these testimonies that validates, and this article calls out the Bioethic Commission, where you just heard people speaking about it on this commission. This man saying, "Oh, this is coming all around this country." There's thousands of people saying the same thing, and it sounds like it's cognitive manipulation behavior manipulation happening. We talk about EEG, cloning, EEG, or dining, where they are planting people with manipulating individual with reaction that they want them to experience, emotion they want them to experience, in every front. And the pedophilia type of torture mentioned, almost all target individuals are forced to imagine these disgusting pedophilia things that this man talked about like how they can create stream of thoughts. and even planning memories in every ways. And you have these people who do this pedophilia type of torture. It's like, now with you, we're matching to you as a kid. What the and this is when I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, okay, so you're making me think the way I would think if I was a child. I'm a 30-some-year-old man with reaction of a 13-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid. Is that what you're saying? Oh, tell me how I'm gonna be a female now. And by the way, just to FYI, what I was saying about the DOD, what's going on, these people call me a female. Listen to the entities that runs the program.
Come under investigation for links to the proliferation of graphic material. Called Project Flickr, some 5,000 individuals have been identified as having subscriptions to child porn sites, including many DoD-affiliated persons. So this ongoing national investigation has now prompted the House to introduce a bipartisan bill that would help the DoD stop the use of its network to, quote, possess, procure, or produce child pornography. Joining us to discuss this, investigative journalist Ben Swan. So Ben, the Pentagon already takes measures to limit worker access to stuff like porn by rolling out what they call the Personal Electronic Device PED policy, where workers have to drop off their phones and lockers before entering their offices. All their online searches are accessible by security if or when needed. Their Wi-Fi access is monitored in digital security sweeps. So how is this happening?
Well, it's happening because even though there is a certain amount of limitation on access, those who are working in the Department of Defense, clearly it appears to be thousands of individuals in the Department of Defense, are finding ways around this, specifically by using the Department of Defense IP addresses and also apparently peer-to-peer sharing within the department's network. So this study that was done on this issue, and it is pretty horrifying, Manila, to consider this. It shows that the Department of Defense ranked 19th out of almost 3,000 networks in terms of peer-to-peer sharing of child pornography. That is absolutely incredible. This bill attempts to essentially say, look, we're not doing enough to stop it from coming in, but we're also not doing enough in the Department of Defense to go after those individuals who are being recognized as the ones who are perpetrating this.
So
why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a... Many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance. Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind
CIA raping children and sexually assaulting children, and they're not being prosecuted? Where are...
Okay. Now, this is awkward as hell. And by the way, as I was pulling out this video, I saw this email I sent to this, because you know what they do? It's like, no, what we do is you abuse. Remember what you did as a kid. I'm like, what? You heard what they do to children. You heard the sexual torture. If it's anything close to this woman talking about how she's being sexually burned, her genitals being burned, that I almost feel like it's a laser type of feeling just being pointed at her genitals. You know, she was also going into details of how she goes into shock when she feels this burn, because she feels like she's literally being burned. And you hear the testimony of a 4-year-old with Down syndrome with a 5-year-old sister with Down syndrome grabbing their genitals because they're in pain. Now, I don't know if the same torture is applied to them as to this woman, but it seems like they're aiming the genitals and they're doing things that are harmful. Now, I saw an email I sent to somebody who, when I was a kid, I did this damn thing to myself. Is this the thing they try to use it? I was like, no, you pay the abuse. No, this is a kid who did something stupid to himself. And to embarrass them, I was like, let me send her a message, let them know that you talk about traumatizing. She's living her life. She doesn't even know who I am. So I sent an image just to put that in their faces. Like, listen, you guys are here creating fantasy that traumatized her. Look at you. She's out here living her best life. Don't even care about me. She doesn't even know who I am. But they are traumatizing children in this program. Listen to this woman, Catherine Neston. This bioethic commission. She came saying, this is happening to me and my young child. By the way, to stop me from bringing that up, because she's another person from this bioethic commission, which this article calls out, talks about me and my young child are being used as test subject. She said, I burn him. Yeah, burn me the way you burn this woman's genitals and how you burn these genitals of these children. Listen to what she says.
Ms. Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan. And please give us a congressional hearing. Thank you.
So when I hear this trash, they burn him, I would jump in fire. Because this is the things they try to counter. When I see this trash from the laundromat or whatever in this on Bumble, try to share, we're studying the memory. Yeah, you study how to manipulate the trash as altering the mind in real time and memories. Memories that should be easy if you can alter the current time experiences. And be like, now we're matching to you as a kid. And truly like want you to be like, oh, okay, so you make me think like a child. You making me an adult in their 30s think like a child that's in middle school. And they're like, oh, he'll talk. He's like, yes, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. To see this piece of shit, this clown, this condescending retards. So, oh no, he'll talk because they don't know what to say. That what you have to say to me is you're making my thoughts, you're making me think the way I was thinking when I was a child. You're a clown ass trash. I rather die in hell. Talking video, these people are trash. It's validation that they alter the mind. It's validation that they alter the memories. It's validation of all sorts. But people who torture children, then do whatever disorienting tactic possible to confuse you, to torment you, and to trick you and deceive you into accepting this manipulation. I would die in hell than live in their fucking nasty ass heaven where they work for pedophiles.